I woke up in a parallel universe with a heartwarming story about a rape victim, Jackie Fox, and how her decision to share this story changed her life. When I first stumbled upon this article and found out it was about rape, as a result of my availability bias, I was almost so sure that she was on drugs or under the influence of alcohol when the incident happened. So when I opened the article, I selectively searched for the specific point that proved my intuition right. This is because growing up, most of the rape stories I heard happened before, during, or after a wild party, and seeing that this was a rape case, it wasn't hard for me to make that connection. Also, I had already assumed that her reason for joining the band was to become popular and make money. As again, most of the people I have met that are interested in music are so money and fame driven and it makes me sad. Because I selectively searched the article for places that confirmed my original intuition, missed a lot of the important details which led to the realization that I didn't get much from the story. I decided to reread the article. Slowly this time, noticing her word choice, expression, and description of details, and so I saw the story in a new light. I did further research and found out that she considered herself a night owl and she loved music. So joining the band was a perfect fit because she could justify her staying up late doing what she loved. Reading the article again, I noticed that she considered herself an introvert, and this changed the way I perceived her. So instead of seeing her as a person that had a drug overload because of an addiction that made her manager take advantage of her, I saw her as a helpless victim that was drugged by her cruel manager. Moving on to the first expression that caught my attention. Her use of the word summer camp here to me is very interesting because it has totally different connotations when viewed from different levels of analysis. From the perspective of most children, it has a negative connotation because from my experience, most children would prefer spending their summer doing what they wanted to do rather than being confined to a place, learning things that don't seem important at the time. On the other hand, from the parents, teachers, and coach's perspective, it's an avenue to acquire skills that will help the child grow and improve their general well-being throughout the child's life. And so this has a strong positive connotation for these people. So her saying that she drops her cat off at a summer camp to start with is a euphemism, which means a word or a phrase is used to replace another word that may come out as unpleasant, harsh, or uncomfortable to the reader or listener. So summer camp is used instead of a word like radioactive iodine treatment center, which sounds harsh and painful. So in this context, it means that she had dropped off a cat in a place that it probably doesn't want to be at the moment. But in the long run, the cat would appreciate, if it can show it, that she did this because the tumor will be removed. Another description that really caught my attention and I really liked was this one that said, outside the July sun was bright, but the vet's office felt like a refrigerator. I did some research and found out that Jackie Fox lives in Los Angeles, and summer in Los Angeles falls in July, so it is very hot. Also, according to the US Food and Drug Administration, the temperature of a refrigerator should be at least 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4.4 degrees Celsius, which is really cold. This contrast helps create a mental image for the reader, making it easier to imagine the difference between two environments. She could have simply said the vet's office was cold, but how cold we may imagine. This goes back to some techniques of creative nonfiction where we show our audience what to say rather than tell them so that the audience can in some way experience what we experience at that point. Doing background research in where she lived definitely helped me understand the contracts better because, for example, if I researched and found out that she lived in Russia, this contract would not be as clear considering the fact that Russia is a relatively cold place all year round. So, knowing this context in which this was written was very important to me. Another expression I really like was a description of Kim Farley, the manager, Frankenstein face. She used this metaphor to explain that she viewed him as a monster, maybe because of what he did to her, or maybe he wasn't just the attractive type, but who knows? This description helps create a mental visual image for the reader instead of just telling them about it. Like she could have easily said ugly or horribly looking face, but this specific detail creates a yardstick for the readers to imagine how horribly looking he was from her perspective. Jackie Fox's article was an interesting read, and although it had an emotional tone to it, she managed not to express any noticeable bias in her article. I said noticeable because might be susceptible to memory bias as she was drugged, and so might not remember most of what happened and would have to rely on the accounts of other people to make up for that particular memory, which could result in bias. Her main point from this story, I would say, is not exclusively stated because it seems like her main point is telling the readers about her experience and how it affected her. But I think she was aiming for more than that. To me, the main point of this article was to encourage people living in fear and silence due to horrid experiences to step out of the shadows and continue with their life. That they should not be afraid to share their story if they wanted to, because this might, in some way, encourage someone somewhere to come out and share theirs. That way, they would all somehow become indirectly united and free themselves from the fear and stigmatization as they know that they are not alone. Some of the HCs used in this essay was context, interpretation bias, nonfiction, levels of analysis, word choice, and memory. Thank you.